Welcome, everybody, to episode 141 of Disney with the Ducks. Tonight, you've got me, John Kroll, and I'm joined by my friend Gene,
What up?
my friend Kevin,
Hey, everybody.
and my friend Jody.
Hi, friends.
All right, so we've got four of us on tonight, and it's going to be a really fun show. But before we get to that, we want to ask everybody, can you please go out and give us 5-star reviews wherever you listen to your podcast at? That would really help the show and, give us a little ego boost that we need. But also go over to our Facebook page, Disney with the Ducks, and join in some of the fun conversations. And follow us for like future episodes. We might ask questions and read listener responses. So that's always a fun way to get some feedback from our listeners and that type of thing. All right, so tonight we're going to ask a question, which tonight it wasn't shared with any of you beforehand. So this could be interesting. All right, so we're going to ask a question to get to know each other a little better. Jody, I'm going to start with you. What is your favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Can you hear me? Oh. My favorite Thanksgiving memory was the Thanksgiving where Landon was only 9 or 10 months old, and both my dad's parents were still alive, both my grandparents, and my aunt and uncle and my cousins and their 3 boys, and everybody was at our house. And we had this big, gigantic Thanksgiving, and I put a cutout leaf on everybody's table, and I had them write something that they were thankful or grateful for. And I still have those. I have a Thanksgiving cookbook, and in that cookbook are everyone's responses to that day. And it's just really special because not everybody is with us anymore. And I just like it. And that's when we learned that teenage boys eat a lot of food. So we had Thanksgiving, and then they came upstairs like 2 minutes later, and they were like, "So what's next?" And Tim looked at me like, "Oh my God, we don't have any more food." But luckily, the parents knew that teenage boys eat, a lot of food every 2 minutes. So they had all sorts of snacks with them, and then ate all this next round of food and next round of food and next round of food. So yeah, now I know because I have a teenage boy, but at the time I had no idea. So it was great. It was a great Thanksgiving.
They're machines.
They really are.
Yeah. Caleb's not even a teen yet. He's 12, and he's still in that boat, continuously eating.
Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I do. I want to be able to do that, but
I pretend I do that. I'm a pretended teenage boy. Yeah.
All right, Kevin, what about you? What's one of your favorite Thanksgiving memories?
Probably, kind of like Jody, it's one of the last times that I had all my grandparents together before they passed away. And my dad's dad went with us hunting for the last time, and I'll never forget that. And just being able to spend that time with them and walking around the farm and, just sitting and getting to know my relatives like that, and looking back on that, it didn't seem like it was that special at the time, and it never does until you look back. But that was a really, really important time.
Kevin, I have to know, did you guys hunt a turkey? Did you get a wild
We didn't
turkey?
hunt a turkey. No, we were going after quail.
Okay, they're flocked.
Smaller than turkey.
No, that's awesome. Gene, what do you got? What's one of your favorite memories?
Yeah, so all of them, but yeah, I'm not going to cheat. We had Thanksgiving just a few years ago where my mother-in-law just, after my father-in-law died, she wanted to do something different, and she just needed, she just needed a different scenery, and so we went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, and it was nice. It was in a cabin. There were like 20 of us, maybe more, I don't know, and we've done it once again since then, and we brought all the Thanksgiving food or cooked it there, and it was just it was different. We have a great Thanksgiving, but it sticks out because it was just a big change in the middle of it all. And it was just great to have everybody together. And it was just good. We did some hiking, and we did some things that we don't, we're very outdoorsy anyway. We have my mother-in-law has a farm, kind of like you were saying, Kevin, and we always hunt, and we ride four-wheelers and things like that, but it was a different kind of outdoorsy than what we usually do. And so it was just a really good memory.
That's cool. And it's a unique experience too, going somewhere that you don't really go to. That's awesome. Let's see, for me, my family one, I used to, it's not one particular memory, but when I was a kid and after dinner, my mom and my aunts would all play poker for pennies. And it would just be like whoever was the dealer would pick a different game. There was all these crazy different games. And I would just play with them for hours. And like my dad, my uncle would sit in the other room and they were like watching the evening football game after the Lions. And yeah, it was always so fun. Like just sitting with my grandma and my mom and my dad's two sisters, and we would just play these games for hours. And nobody won or lost a lot of money, but it was just super cool. I always felt rich at the end because most of these ladies would just give me all their pennies because they didn't want to take them home. So it was kind of nice. It worked out good.
That's good.
But then on like the friends side, we've had, since we got out of college, we started this Friendsgiving, always the Saturday of the Michigan Ohio State game. So we would have all of our friends over. Like before we had kids, it was like, you had kegs and turkey deep fryers and all that kind of stuff, right? And so we would always, like, football was part of that. We'd go out and we'd play a game of like two-hand touch football. And at the time, we're 24-year-old guys, still pretty in shape. It went pretty good. But then as we aged, we start slowing down. And fast forward like from 2006 to 2022, and now we're watching our kids play football while we're all just kind of standing on the side having some drinks, and it's quite a memory to like see where we're at now with the same group of friends from school and look back 20 years ago or whatever and be like, wow, we're doing kind of the same thing, but now it's our kids doing it. It's just a really cool experience for me. So we have those Friendsgiving parties every year, and it's just fun to see how it evolves and all our kids grow up together and everything else. So nice way to keep in touch with friends.
You have
to
tell me what is twin touch football? Twins have to be involved?
Two hand touch. Twin? Well, then that's why there's a lot of touchdowns scored.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. So tonight, though, that brings us, we're coming up on Thanksgiving in about a week and a half. So we're sitting here on November 17th. And one of the things we were talking about was just how thankful we are for a lot of different things with Disney and Disney with the Ducks and everything else. So we wanted to reach out to our listeners and get your feedback on what Disney things are you thankful for this year in 2024. So we're going to go through a bunch of your responses, and and we'll see, kind of what the group has to say about what they're thankful for. So Jody, do you want to kick us off with reading the first response?
Well, yes, sir. I would be delighted to. So I'm pretty excited to read this first one. So this is from our dear friend Katie, who I think everybody knows. But Katie said, I am thankful for so much love and support we've gotten this past year throughout my pregnancy and Kylie's arrival. So much of that comes from the people I've met through Disney, whether it's the parks, at races, or online and social media groups. I really wouldn't know half the people I do in life if it wasn't for Disney, and Kylie will have such a magical upbringing with them in the picture, let alone in the magical trips we'll eventually embark on together. And I just love that because, she's a new human that's been brought into our group. I mean, that's really absolutely amazing. So John, you were talking a little bit about your college friends and then your kids and playing along. And I just smile at the fact that like there's a little baby Katie running around, and she's going to get exposed to all this, and for good or for bad. but like she's going to experience Disney in her own eyes, and races and friends and running and all of it. So that just warms my heart. So we are thankful for baby Kylie's arrival too, and very excited for Katie and their growing family and all that brings. So pretty awesome.
That's really cool. All right, Kevin, do you want to read the next one?
Sure. The next one's from Paula. She said, our first trip, we started our first day in the parks by having breakfast at Be Our Guest. It was a fun way to start the day and get into the parks before opening to see all there was. We ended the day by eating at Cinderella's Castle as the fireworks were going off around us. Truly magical way to end our first day. She said she's going to try to find the picture to share that, and that would be really cool to see. Sounds like a really, really good first trip. I mean, it's kind of hard to top that. I mean, with having breakfast at Be Our Guest and then finishing at Cinderella's Castle. I mean, that's kind of the perfect Disney day. I don't know how you could top that.
Yeah, and it's really fun if you catch the fireworks from inside the restaurant. So we've done it a couple times on purpose, and it's really neat.
You're
So
like
yeah,
right there. Don't they
Yeah.
shoot them off like right behind the
yeah, it
right,
was
right
it was
over
super
there?
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, does the
I loved
castle
it.
shake? I'd feel like it's right
You'd
there.
think it would shake the whole building. Yeah.
No, I mean you hear it a little bit, right, because of just the explosions, but it's wild. Yeah.
That's
All right.
awesome.
Yeah, Paula, that's something really cool to be thankful for. That's a great first ever day at Disney. That's awesome. Jean, do you want to read Amy's response?
Hold on. I gotta give Amy a phenomena. She knows what that means. So
Okay. The show's getting weird. Now we're giving secret messages.
Right.
Is this a spy thing, Jody?
I was dressed as phenomena, and she was dressed as a snooth for the wine and dine race. So we
Okay.
gotta give her a special shout out. So
I'm thankful for an opportunity to have annual pass and participate in race weekends. Never in my life did I imagine this would be my life. I don't know how long I can sustain it, but I'm absolutely loving it. I have also found some quality strangers on the internet, aka lizards, that I'm happy to call friends. And Amy, that like hits the nail on the head for me too. It's funny you make the comment about like strangers from the internet. The first time I met lizards in person, I went down to Toledo to run the Toledo half with Jody and Jeff and like a couple other lizards. And I told my dad, he's like, "Oh, you going with friends?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I explained it to him. He's like, "You're going to Toledo to meet a bunch of people from the internet in a hotel?" Like, yeah.
And
yeah,
didn't
I
Jeff want to meet you in a
Dark
public
alley.
men's restroom or something?
Yeah. That was the instructions I was given by Jeff. But no, so I mean, but what you say is so true. Like, you find this group of people who have the same kind of weird as you, and it's so fun because we're a very like niche community in the lizards, right? We're people who love running and love Disney. So you find the people whose weird matches yours, and it's awesome because you have this built-in like family and people to hang out with. It's so much fun. So Amy, I think that's an awesome response. All right, next, do we want to read Christina's, Gene?
I can, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for Disney Cruise Line this year. Just like almost any other adult, I worked long hours in and out of the home, and I often crave a vacation. The DCL crew do an amazing job of taking care of me and my people, from delicious food to an immaculate stateroom to fantastic activities. I look forward to many more cruises in the coming years. Our very own Lonnie Gaines is on a cruise right now. I mean, I bet he's thankful for a Disney cruise. That's a really great comment. And I'm a little jealous because it's not something I've ever partaken of, and I really would like to.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be awesome. I would love to too. So
Same here.
hopefully in a few years we're all thankful for Disney Cruise Line.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, Jody, that's
really-
one of your favorite things in life, right?
Yeah.
it is one of my favorite, and believe it or not, it's one of my husband's favorites who swore them off for 1,000 years. So yeah, we are big fans of Disney Cruise Line. So hopefully, Kevin, you will be too. And not that I'm excluding the two of you, but I know that Kevin has some possibilities in his future, like thought about and planned out. So hopefully it's going to come through.
That's great. I really Christina, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, and Christina, I'm
thankful-
right there
yes.
with you. DCL, nothing like it. Nothing like it. And I can't wait to hear about Lonnie's trip when he gets back.
Oh, I know.
No, I'm excited too. All right, so let's get the train back on the track, and we'll go to Jody next to read Michelle's comment.
All right. So Michelle says that I am thankful that we have finally bought DVC. Woo! And had add-onitis. So ended up with 2 contracts. For those of you who don't know, add-onitis is if you buy one contract and then you're beginning to feel like, oh my gosh, I need more. And then you scour the sites and find another contract to buy. So she said, I'm so grateful that Disney is our family's happy place. We have so many trips planned and are planning going again Thanksgiving week. Oh, that's really soon. Something to be really thankful for. Hopefully soon I will get the running bug back. I didn't have to commit to another Disney race. Thinking Dopey 2026. Yes, Michelle, please join us for Dopey 2026. I'm assuming that means that we're all doing it, but yeah, please. That's awesome. Congratulations on buying DVC and your add-on-itis. So far, we have not added on, but we bought our contracts purposely, so hopefully that we won't add on. So that's awesome, though. I hope you're enjoying those DVC points because they are fun. Points are fun.
Yeah,
Right,
and it's so easy to buy more points too, especially if you get them direct. You can call in the morning and have the points in your account in the afternoon, and all you give them is a credit card number. You don't even have to give them anything, anything other than that. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And then they do all the paperwork after. Man, how fun! All right, Kevin, you want to read our friend Ray's comment?
Oh yeah, I always like to hear what Ray has to say. So Ray says, I'm thankful for all the memories throughout the years and my kids having fun. I don't remember the specific of this memory, but the fact that we were having fun together is priceless. This is just one of many. I'm glad that we go all the time. And he posted a picture of him and his kids, and they look like they're having a blast. That's just Ray. I mean, Ray goes a lot, I know, but he always is having a blast, and it's always good to hear his stories and get to see him. So.
And Ray did a great trip report with us. I don't know what episode it was. I wish I had it memorized, but he did a great trip report and told us all about the DAS system and how that worked for their family. So it's awesome. So Ray, thanks for sharing. Your family's awesome, and we love seeing seeing and hearing about your trips.
Yeah, Ray is awesome. I met him and his family up at Epcot one day, and we hung out together for a couple hours, and it was so much fun. And it's another stranger from the internet. Like, kids,
Yeah,
let's go meet these people.
He's one of those guys. It's just he's easy to approach, and he'll talk to anybody.
And maybe just a little bit of a Star Wars fan, like some people I know.
Yeah, maybe.
Fits in well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Gene, we're gonna move over to the later, most recent post.
Cake bake.
Got it.
We're there.
The princess. This is pretty easy. So Kenna. Well, Kenna shared that what she's thankful for in Disney related in 2024. That's a lot to know. The Princess Half Marathon with you, Jody Haskell Benning. Was I supposed to share your full name?
It's okay. You can.
Oh, they're gonna come after you.
You're gonna have so many hits
Stalkers. The fan, our rabid
on your
fans.
credit report now.
Identity stolen.
Yeah, a lot of DMs.
But nobody knows when Jody and I or Jody and I. So
there you go.
Everyone, good luck.
Yeah, that's true.
Kenna and I went to college together, and we're in the same sorority. And she and I ran Princess. Actually, 2020 is when we ran that race together. So, pretty special memory. So,
wow,
that's awesome. It's so much fun.
So she broke the rules. She didn't share. You said 2024. She just shared in general, which I like that because I don't have any Disney trips for this year, so that's great.
But we didn't say specifically to limit.
One of the posts does. One of the posts does.
Did I change the
first one? The first one does, I think.
Well, while we're checking the tape on that one, I'm going to read Caleb's comment. So our friend Caleb, wow, this is a good one. I'm thankful the good Lord. Yes, that's a good point. I don't know if he mentions that because honestly, I scrolled through these earlier, but okay. I'm thankful the good Lord has given me the ability to stay healthy enough to run Dopey all these years, as I know there are many out there that can't run at all. This is one of the reasons I still do this, for the ones that can't. I'm also thankful for the many running friends I've met over the years from running at the World. On a more personal note, I'm super thankful for meeting a short, buzzed hair fella named Jeff Positano. I think you got him mixed up with someone, Caleb. But it's okay. We'll figure out who you really met at a later date. As we were at a similar place in our lives a while back and became friends during that time. He introduced me to Jody and the rest of the Duck group, and they took me in and treated me like family. These races that we do are great, and we're all fortunate and blessed to do them, but they really are just an easy way of us having a family reunion year after year. I look forward to every year, even on mile 22 of the marathon when I say I'm not doing this stuff next year. Deep down, I know I'll be back to see my extended family. Thank you to the Disney with the Ducks, and we'll see y'all soon. So that is awesome, though, because, yeah, you're right. Caleb is dopey perfect, which means he's ran every dopey. That's amazing. That's like a huge,
That's a lot of miles,
like you said, to stay
over
healthy.
500 miles.
Yeah,
Well,
and like
it was 10, so 486.
86.
Yeah. And he got a
Yeah.
lunchbox for it. Yay, lunchboxes.
And in that 10 years or whatever, he hasn't had an injury, a sickness, anything like that. That's amazing. So that's really cool. Well, thanks for the response, Caleb.
Let's not bring up sickness and stomach stuff in this group because that doesn't.
It's a little too late in the year for that. There's, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jody, do you want to read our friend Julie's response?
Sure. I love Julie. So Julie said, as so many have already mentioned, I'm thankful for the close friendships I have formed through Run Disney. The memories of running so many miles together keeps me motivated for the next time we'll all be together again. On a more personal note, I'm thankful for the confidence I've gained through running. I've learned I can do hard things. I can persevere when things get tough. I can survive pain and discomfort. This feeling of confidence has invaded all facets of my life, and I know when life gets tough, it's going to be okay. I can do hard things. I can persevere. I can survive the pain and discomfort and come out a stronger, better person. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to express our gratitude, sending lots of love to this community. We are so blessed indeed. And Julie, I just have to brag on her for a second. She has started running triathlons and is just killing it in that arena, running like she's a great swimmer. She's biking. I forget her bike's name. Her bike has a name. I'm completely blanking on it right now. But talk about somebody who's just always positive and out there spreading joy and happiness. And so yeah, Julie's kicking it and doing hard things and showing that you can show up and do those hard things. So
Well, and part of the reason that she can do hard things is because she's so giving to everyone else and so supportive of everyone else. I know that one of the first times I ran a marathon with her, I was struggling pretty bad, and she got us all through it. I mean, she's very positive and just uplifting and just fun to be around. And when you're in so much pain after 20 miles, it takes somebody like that to help you keep moving forward, and that's her.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like what Ben was, I think, for a lot of us too, when we were doing the 2022 race, just
Right.
somebody that could kind of like keep everyone together and keep spirits up. So yeah, it's good. And the Lizards seem to have a lot of those kind of people, which is awesome.
They do.
So it's really cool.
And you never know when it's going to be your day to be that person or your day to need that person. And it's not always necessary running. It's like life in general, where you just need to lean on someone and they're like, I got you for a little while. I'll lift you up. I can, lean on me. I'll be your cheerleader. I'll help you out. So this online crazy community is pretty awesome. Very thankful.
It really is. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Julie. We're thankful for you being a supporter of our show since pretty much the beginning, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kevin, do you want to read our friend Crystal's response?
Yeah. She says, I have a lot to be thankful for. I think one of my favorite Disney things is our DVC contract. It was a luxury purchase for sure, and I wasn't even sure we should go for it. My husband insisted, and I'm so glad he did. I love that we are guaranteed to be making more Disney memories in the future. I'm also thankful for Run Disney and all the wonderful friends I've met through that community, including all the Ducks. Being a part of the Run Disney community is half the reason I keep running.
That's awesome. And I know, Crystal, I got to finish the 2020, gosh, I get my years confused, 2023 full marathon with her. We found her at like mile 18 or 19 or something like that. And we finished with her. She's one of those people that you see on the internet as an internet friend, and she always wears sunglasses. And then when I met her in real life, she didn't have her sunglasses on. I was like, who are you? And then she put her sunglasses. I'm like, oh my God, Crystal, there you are. It's funny when you like only see people, especially women, I think, either with our hair back or like in a headband or whatever, and then you see them whichever other way, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, oh, now I know who you are. But she's pretty awesome, and that's great that they bought into DVC. And again, John, I know you and I are big fans of their products, so nice that you're able to build more family memories. Pretty special.
Hmm.
Yeah. And, to the point about the sunglasses, like that's how Superman and Clark Kent were able to keep their identities
That is
separate.
true.
So there's
That's right.
something to that.
That's right.
So yeah. So no, that's DVC is amazing. I'm thankful for that too. I mean, it's just, you're right. It's up. You're going to make those family memories for decades, which is awesome. All right. So Kevin, you just read that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gene, do you want to read our friend Hannah's response?
Yeah. Yeah, this is really sweet. Hannah says, I'm thankful for all the amazing memories and photos it's given me with my mom. Though we are close, we rarely take photos together. And thanks to Disney PhotoPass, we now have so many wonderful photos that go along with the memories we've made together at Disney. That's really neat.
Okay, I'm going on the record here as the mom in the group. I'm constantly the one saying to my kids and my husband, like, get together, let me take your picture, let me take your picture, let me take your picture. And very rarely am I in the photo because I'm always encouraging them to get to a photo.
Yeah.
And that is a really fantastic thing about Disney and the PhotoPass photographers is that we're all in the photo, whether it be a ride photo or one of the PhotoPass photographers. They don't say, here, mom, you take the photo of your spouse and your kids. You're in the photo too. And really you will notice as the mom in the group that you're not in as many photos as you want to be, but you're living the moment with your kids, but you're trying to capture it. So that's awesome, Hannah. And that really special that you pointed that out, that you have special pictures with you and your mom.
Yeah, that's great.
It is awesome. Like such a fun thing. But you're right, Jody. I mean, the moms are always the one telling everybody to get their picture taken. And I have all kind of pictures of me and my dad as a kid and hardly any with my mom because, it just is what it is. All right, so I'm going to read our friend John's response. John says, I'm thankful that my wife told me that I should join a running group that started from a podcast she listens to. It eventually led to my first Run Disney race and meeting a lot of friends I'd never have met otherwise. So that's awesome. And John and I will like text back and forth a lot about random music and all kind of like stuff like that. And it's so fun. Like, that's how I heard about the Lizards too, was from this podcast. And then, that type of thing. So it's really cool. And it leads to a lot of really fun stuff. Just taking that one chance.
Lindsay and I had dinner with John and his family in Massachusetts this summer when we were on our college tours. So otherwise she and I probably would have been eating Chipotle in our hotel room. So it's nice when I'm like, hey, I think we're kind of close to where you live, maybe sort of. And we were within like a 40-minute drive, and he and his family met us for dinner, and it was a pretty awesome evening. So you just never know the friends that you're going to meet on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids, take that as a lesson. Meet the stranger from the internet in person all the time. I mean, it's worked out every time I've done it because it's been mostly people in this group. Okay. Jody, do you want to read our friend Megan's?
All right. So Megan, aka Sparkle Monkey. I'm thankful for the strangers on the internet. Haha, we were just talking about that I met through Run Disney. Thanks to them, I've met my husband and I've made some amazing friends along the way. Yeah, her husband, you guys. She met her husband.
That's amazing.
I mean, yeah.
Was it the Disney with the Ducks, the short-lived Disney with the Ducks Tinder? Anything to do with it?
It was not.
Oh, no,
I think it's even before the Lizards. I think it might have been Team Shenanigans back in those days.
So pretty awesome. Like, you take John, you were saying, you take your love for one thing and your love for another, and it meshes together. And then you find people on the internet who have that same passion and love. It's a very small little niche group. And that's where she met her husband. And that's how I met Megan, is through the internet, and then we were on a cruise together and had lots of fun. So thanks for sharing that, Megan.
Yeah, that's awesome. Met her husband. Wow. That's really cool. I guess, you have that one thing in common, right? And then you can build from there.
Yep.
All right, Kevin, do you want to read our friend Sarah? Do you want to read her response?
Yeah. Sarah says, I'm thankful for the
Sarah
amazing...
W, not Sarah K. Let's just make sure, because there's two Sarahs.
No,
Yeah,
there are
Sarah W. I'm thankful for the amazing friends I've met along the way. Not only did I meet the nicest people through Disney, found a way to motivate me to stay healthy and live an active lifestyle with Run Disney.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and that's a great thing. I mean, the best part about Disney is that you have a lot of people that may not have thought that they could do the long distance run, and Disney's usually a pretty um, attractive way to kind of step into those longer distances. And I mean, most of us, at least in this group, don't really do a whole lot of other races. I mean, we've done some here and there, but I just keep going back to those because they seem to do it the best way, and that's that's what we stick with.
Yeah, it's just so fun.
It is.
All right, so Gene, do you want to read our friend Jennifer wrote a response to us?
Jennifer says, "I am thankful for all of you and your podcast and all the lizards." I mean,
Nice.
very succinct. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she probably appreciates the most your disclaimer after every podcast. Dean.
I don't know why she
One
wouldn't.
highlight.
The lawyers are. I'm just going to tell you, the lawyers are on fire this week. All right,
Uh-oh.
I'm just going to tell you.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks for listening.
Thank you,
We-
Jennifer.
we appreciate you.
Yeah, so much.
All right, Lori, she joined one of our episodes at some point earlier too to talk about some of her costumes that were so awesome and some of the races that she ran. And she had Lori just finished a perfect Run Disney year, right? Didn't we? I see that in the Lizards.
Yes.
That is amazing.
She ran all the races in 2024. So,
Oh wow.
so
Yeah.
not the Run Disney calendar, which starts like Wine and Dine and goes through, I guess, Springtime Surprise. She ran the calendar year, so 2024 race season. So started in January 2024 and ran all the way through Wine and Dine 2024. So
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
a
Lori
lot.
says, yeah. Our family made our first trip to Disney 28 years ago with our young children, and it was magical. I now have the blessing of watching my 4 grandchildren enjoy the magic as well. In 2018, I ran my first Run Disney race with my daughter. That was the beginning of my running journey. I especially love the Disney races because I love running in costume. Oh yeah, we were just talking about how we talked with her about that on the episode. I just completed my 2024 Run Disney Perfect season, and I am so grateful for all the lizards and ducks cheering me on this journey and following all my costumes for each race. It meant so much to me. I'm thankful for the Ducks podcast as it puts me in the Disney bubble as I listen to it on my training runs. It helps make those miles more tolerable. And thanks, Lori. And we are thankful for you. And you're right, your costumes are super cool. Everyone should look at them in the lizard group or in Instagram, wherever they're posted, because it's pretty fun. They're pretty elaborate.
they're amazing.
Yeah.
Her Madame Leota costume, I just can't. It was so amazing. It was so amazing.
All right. Jody, do you want to read our friend Bob's response?
Yeah, so Bob, our friend over at the Rise and Run podcast, who Bob is just, for you guys who don't know, Bob is 70 and dopey, or he's actually now 70 plus and dopey. So yes, you heard that right, 70 and dopey. And he is thankful for good health and the many wonderful friends Run Disney has brought me. And Bob, I have to say, one of my personal memories this past marathon weekend was Bob was running with, and forgive me that I don't know the woman's name, but it's the mother of a son who's in a push athlete, and we would pass them. We would run and take pictures and then pass them multiple times. And every time, his name is Woody, and we'd stop and we'd give Woody a fist bump every single time. And Bob would say, "Hey, Woody wants a fist bump," and we'd give Woody a fist bump every single time we saw one. And it brought a smile to my face. I hope it brought a smile to Woody's face. But and I love the fact that Bob is got this awesome podcast, this Rise and Run group, and they're a great group of people, very welcoming, very friendly, and that he's still out there at 70 plus years old doing dopey. And it just makes me think, gosh, I hope my body can hold on for another 20 years, because that's amazing. So I appreciate Bob and his community and his positive outlook because he's so positive, such a positive guy. It's such a positive group.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, just mentioning friends and meeting people and relationships and stuff through Disney. It's crazy. All right, Kevin, would you read our friend Joe's response?
Yeah. So Joe says, I too am grateful for the friendships I've made. I rediscovered my love for Disney parks about a decade ago, and as part of that, found out about Run Disney. I started participating in the Mickey Milers group and made some friends there, and met up with some of the 2016 Disneyland Star Wars race weekends in January of that year. It was really later that year, though, that things kicked off, especially with the lizards. I decided to undertake the Dopey Challenge, including my first marathon. Wow, that's tough. And was worried about going through it alone, and so proposed a weekly training post. Everyone was so supportive and friendly, but still I went to race weekend apprehensive about what I'd find. I knew I'd have a good time, but that would probably be a one and done, as if I was by myself most of the time. I was immediately welcomed by some great people, and it started something that's continued to this day. It's no understatement to say that the friendships I've made the last 8 years have changed my life massively. People from the Lizards, this group, the Ducks, and from others, which I peripherally participate, I think especially the Edcott group, who would have been exceptionally kind, have lifted me constantly and enriched my life beyond what I can describe. I now think back to times before all this and wonder, what did I do back then? The comfort and support which I've received and continue to receive is beyond anything I could have ever imagined, and for that I'm supremely grateful.
Yeah, I mean, pretty well said, Joe. Like,
Well
there's
thought out, well said, well written.
all these groups like the Lizards and like the Edcott group, which is our friends over at the WDW Review, just a great group of people over there, and like all these different podcast groups. It's the same thing, right? Like we were talking about earlier. Like find your somebody who matches your level of weirdness about a certain topic, and you find these groups and you start to see people like I started talking to Jeff because I saw him over in the Edcat group, and then I'd see him in the Lizards, and then it's fun because you interact with the same kind of people all the time, which is really a good way to like break the ice and get going with meeting people.
Yeah, and just like Julie, Joe's really good about helping people move along and keeping them motivated.
Mhm.
And the two of them, along with Ben, helped me through my first Dopey back in 2018. So
And I just want to say, Joe's weekly posts in the Lizard group are always so thoughtful and really make me ponder. Sometimes I ponder too long and don't respond within the weekly timeline because I'm like thinking about it, like, what do I want to say back to that? So, but he always gives you something to noodle about and think how you're gonna reply, and it's interesting to read everybody's responses, and as in particular when we're all in training, when we're struggling through those 20-mile runs or 24-mile runs or 987 6-mile run or whatever it may be. Like he's really positive and keeping us all focused on the end game and the goal. So thank you,
Yep.
Joe.
And his Figment puppet guy he has is
Oh,
amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah,
So amazing.
it's super cool. So thank you. All right, Gene, would you like to read our friend Sarah's Sarah
I
K?
would. It's my it's my honor to read Sarah's.
We've got a lot of Sarahs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the other Sarah, I didn't mention this before, but the other Sarah was one of the first Lizards I met. And later on in training, she just on a post, I mentioned that I just wasn't motivated. I couldn't find my mojo. I'd lost my mojo, something like that. And she said, miles are miles, and she just put one foot in front of the other. It doesn't matter how you do it. And it's something that stuck with me when training's hard. I've walked training runs. Because I needed to move my feet, and you get that mojo back. You move, and it come, and you get it back. And this Sarah, spent a lot of time my last race weekend getting to know Sarah, and she is those races are long. You know what I'm saying? And just a neat person. And so I'm thankful to get to read this. Sarah says, "I'm thankful for that Run Disney I'm thankful that Run Disney and the community I've met through it took me to places and distances I never imagined I could do. When I ran my first 10K and first Run Disney race at Princess 2020, I thought it would be a one and done, but that's what everybody says, right? I thought it'd just be this one, and look what happens. Thought it'd be a one and done, but oh, how I was wrong. I since have done close to 25 Run Disney races, including my first half in 2022, and then my first marathon as part of Dopey in 2023, where I'm so thankful I didn't have to do it alone thanks to the Ducks. I don't enjoy training at times, but I'm so glad I have a reason to look forward to race weekends. On a personal side, I've loved getting to make memories with my family over the years. I went to Disney my first time around 11 months old and have been blessed to make many memories over so many trips since then, including more making memories with my niece on trips in the last few years. I've also been blessed with a nephew this year, so I can't wait to continue to share the Disney magic with him and my niece. I also can't forget to mention how thankful I am for my amazing parents who not only instilled Disney love in me from a young age, but as some of the Ducks know, have encouraged me during Run Disney adventures and travel with me to be amazing cheerleaders at Run Disney events. Yeah,
They are the best cheerleaders.
Yeah,
And
pretty awesome.
whenever we're really struggling, they were always there, and they bounce around the course. I don't know how they get around, but they just magically appear. I think they have a portal or maybe use underground tunnels or something. I'm not sure,
Maybe.
but they always appear out of nowhere and just when you need them. So,
hey, Kevin, you correct me if I'm wrong about this, but it seems like you and I were planning something after, during the race, and Sarah, probably 10K, I don't know. And Sarah, I think she took my phone from me to help us with the lightning lane because we couldn't figure it out.
She did.
Whatever it was, Disney Genie, whatever they call it these days. And she was like, "Give me that," and she's like,
yeah. No, we were in
dumb.
Epcot. We were in Epcot, and we were both trying to figure it out, and we were like, we have no idea, and we just handed her our phones, and she hooked us up for the whole day.
She took care of it.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
Lonnie was sick. That was the day Lonnie was sick, right?
It was.
So he was nowhere. Lonnie's usually
he was there. He was there. He was
usually
just so out of it. He's like,
Okay.
don't even talk to me. He had his hood up, and it was just like, I just have to finish the miles.
Oh, man, we got to hang out with Sarah after or for the fireworks dessert party and stuff at Magic Kingdom Springtime Surprise Weekend. So that was really cool. And then when I was there with my kids this past summer in July, we were just walking through Epcot, and there's Sarah and her mom walking towards us on the little path from the entranceway out to World Showcase, or from Future World to World Showcase. And there they are, just walking along in the rain towards us. So that was really cool too, just to run into them randomly there. So that was fun. So yeah, it's just back to like meeting weirdos on the internet. Yeah.
Good times.
All right, so I'm gonna read one from our friend Ben, who was kind of the one that started the whole Ducks thing, right? Because that's when we started the DuckTales. Woo!
Except me, I was not part of that.
No, but you're like,
But you are now.
hands gently.
You're part of that weekend.
I'm part of that weekend, but I was not part of it. Still don't understand.
All right, so Ben says, where to start? I'm so thankful for each and every one of you and all of the memories we have made in the past. From the many, many miles over the years, the marathon with all of the guys singing DuckTales over 800 times, the Marine Corps Marathon weekend with y'all and having to borrow Tim's running shirt, the many meals and so many laughs and trip to Disneyland for the half marathon weekend, the many rides with y'all and having to shoehorn 3 of us in one car on Big Thunder Mountain. So Ben, I think I'm very thankful for you because you helped me get through my first marathon, and it was awesome running with you. It was just so much fun, like talking to you and getting to know you, and you kind of like kept the group together the whole time. And I am so thankful for that because I got to finish my first marathon with like such an amazing group of people because of that. So Ben, we're thankful for you too.
I mean, if you look up leader in the dictionary, you see a picture of a guy with a long beard, and that's him.
But I also want to say that Ben touched on something else that John, you kind of mentioned it earlier, but these friendships go outside of the walls of Walt Disney World too. So he mentioned Marine Corps Marathon. He did show up for that race without a running shirt. Tim happened to have 2, and Tim and Ben are not necessarily built the same way, but Tim let Ben borrow one of his shirts. So these friendships not only just are Disney bound and just to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, but like John and I met for the first time in Toledo, Ohio, and I know that John, you just hung out with a bunch of people in Detroit, and Kevin, you were at my house for Flying Pig Marathon. So
Mhm.
these friendships don't only just stay within the walls of Mickey Mouse; they go beyond that, and they can serve you in all sorts of different places and all sorts of different parts of your life. So it's pretty awesome. So thank
Yeah.
you, Ben, for reminding us of that too, because it's pretty special.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you're right. Like the bonds you have with people like that are created this way, but then they just grow so much because then you start getting other things in common and just gosh, I think if you run a marathon with a group, like that's a pretty bonding experience. There's not a whole lot.
Smelly too, smelly.
It's a long
Oh, it's
time
very smelly.
out there.
I was
It's kind of,
so
I was just
stinky.
thinking about this is that, whenever you're a kid and you go to camp or something like that and you spend so much time with somebody and it's like you get through that week or whatever it is and it's like you've known them for years because usually you spend just, bits of time with people over a long period of time. But something like camp, something like this, you spend a lot of time with somebody over, if it's somebody you've run every race. I mean, how many hours is that, And you're talking about all kind of stuff. And I just was thinking about Ben. I mean, I've got so many memories of Ben, and I hadn't run that many races.
Yeah.
Not like most of y'all, but Ben is one of the first people I met. Gave me mustard, man. He gave me mustard. He gave me packs of mustard. I was cramping up so bad, and
Yeah.
and Ben reaches in his bag and pulls out mustard. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
But when I see, so many of these people, and I mean, I'm saying it about Ben, but it's about some of these folks. It's, you see them at a race and you just kind of pick up where you were and, you hug them and how you been? And it's so good to see just because they become real friends over the course of these races,
So I'm lucky enough to be in a book club with some of the lady lizards, and we just read a book. We just had our book club meeting today, as a matter of fact, and we just read a book called Westwood Drafts, and it's a historical fiction about these drafts that came from 1938. They came in New York, and they went all the way to San Diego, to the San Diego Zoo. And
I thought you said giraffes.
drafts, like
Giraffes.
the long
Oh,
necks.
I think you said
Right.
draft too.
No, giraffes, like the
Huh.
long neck creatures that from
Yeah.
Africa. So
Yeah.
anyway, one of the women on the podcast or on the call today, I'm not going to say who, I'm not going to call her out, but she said the experience of the book where they were traveling through all these states and going from New York and all the way over to California reminded her a little bit of a story of a marathon weekend where it's such a short period of time, but you form these such strong bonds with the people because you're together doing this really hard thing and you just become such good friends in that moment. And it really struck me like that. She's right. Like, yeah, in the story, they were taking these two long neck creatures, giraffes from Africa with spots from New York over to California. But also when we're running marathons or races or whatever, we're also doing something pretty hard and we're bonding with our friends and you're making these core memories with people and
Yeah.
and pretty awesome. So
Yep. No, totally. It's amazing how that one experience can just like make you love someone for the rest of your life. It's nuts.
really.
But Kevin, do you want to read Anthony's response?
Yeah, it says, thankful for this direct message from John Luther, which says, hey, Anthony, talking with Dave, I'm going to drop back to B near the front tomorrow. We're going to run with Tim and some others, figuring a bigger group will help us cross the finish line. Wanted to give you a heads up if you wanted to join us.
Yeah. So that's what's cool too, is right. Like when we're running these races, you have a group you can get with and help each other through. And that's so cool that you can like connect with all these people because they're going to be there, them, or maybe you don't know them yet, but you've interacted with them on the lizards and
Yeah, and even those that, may have gotten a farther up corral, they're, so good that they're willing to step back and help a friend out and so they have someone to run with, even though they could just, speed along and just get the race over with. But it's just always, really neat to see how people are willing to take a step back to help their friends get across. So I can
And
appreciate that.
I was lucky enough to be a part of that group. So that John, Anthony, Dave group, Tim and I were lucky enough to be in that group. So that was really incredibly special for us. So
That's awesome. Well, good thing Anthony got that DM from John
I know.
to make sure that everybody was able to meet up. All right. Well, thank you, Anthony. And Gene, can you read our last one? This is from Ruth, our friend Ruth.
I can. Ruth says, thankful for Run Disney Races being back in SoCal.
And then I chimed in and I said, Ruth, I so thought you were going to say your most recent visit to Club 33 because Ruth just got to experience Club 33, which I was,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was like, what? How? Tell me all about it.
Man.
So, but I know for our friends out on the West Coast, having Run Disney come back to their coast is really awesome for them and a lot closer for them to have to travel, whether they're in like Utah or Washington, wherever. It's just a lot easier for them to get to California. So I think the return to racing in California was huge. And I know they're quite excited about it. So that's awesome. I'm happy for you, Ruth, and all the friends over there.
Yeah. So we're thankful for everybody who put a response through and all of our listeners. Now, though, I want to talk a little bit about what all of us are thankful for with Disney.
I got one more. I got one more that I want to share. Yeah.
Okay.
So I asked my daughter who loves Disney. I asked her, "What would you say?" And she said, "I would say all of the characters of the parks. They're always making little kids smile, no matter what. Even the adults too, and they help make core memories for people." And she said, that's just what I came up with in like 5 seconds. This might not be the best, but it is because it shows her she has such a love for children. Like she's looking at a college major and she wants to do something where she serves kids. And that's the first thing, that being the first thing she thought of is just, it's so perfect her, but it's so true. I mean, it's just all of these things we're talking about. They're things that they're about making people happy, ourselves, the friends. I just think that was just a neat thing I wanted to point out.
Yeah. No, that is really cool. And that's awesome. Like you said, though, her mind just goes to the thing that makes little kids happy and enjoy the trip and everything else.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, Jody, what are you thankful for at Disney?
So I'm sitting here in an office that Tim and I share, and I can look up with these built-in shelves, and pretty much every other shelf has something Disney on it, whether it's a Disneyland picture or there's a Remy pin that the kids bought me years ago that's still in the box, or our ears from our marathon weekend. But every single thing, there's even signed photographs that, with Flynn Rider and Ariel and Pluto and all that stuff. So everything over here has got some sort of memory. And this past year is no different. We've had some really fantastic memories, and I'm so incredibly blessed. I can't even begin to put it into words how fortunate and lucky and thankful we are that we get to build these memories, not only with our family, with friends. And it keeps me coming back because you all fill my bucket, and it brings me joy. And everyone's like, "You're doing Dopey again? You're going to go run that again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to see my people. I want to be with my people." So thanks for being my friend. Thanks for hanging out with us. And thanks for making my heart happy. There are definitely days when I need it. So thank you.
Yeah, I think a lot of us feel the same way, right? It's just, it's amazing, the relationships and everything else. Kevin, what are you thankful for this year?
Well, I mean, Disney's always, the content that, Star Wars and Marvel. I mean, I'm wear it almost every day on everything I do. But I mean, it's really those are all just kind of ancillary things to, that I like to spend some time on entertainment with. But really, it's you guys, being able to help some of y'all through some tough times, and then going through some tough times myself, and just, having you guys there, always checking on me. And, I know that we're all checking on each other too. And whenever people are having not such a good time. And, it's just good to know that there are people out there that care for you, and that's just so lucky to have that. And it was Disney that brought that together. So I'm just thankful for you guys more than anything. So
That's awesome, Kevin. That's one of the things I was gonna say too, is like just being thankful for this group of people, because no matter how bad a week is and stuff, I know on Sunday night I have like that hour of just having fun, talking to friends, talking about topics that we all love and the passion that we have and everything else. And like you said, just having people that care. It's such a big deal. So that was one of the big things on my list too. So I think you said it really well there.
For sure.
Gene, what are you thankful for?
Yeah, so I mean, it's not going to be much different than what anybody else has said. I love people, and I don't care about Disney. I mean, I don't like Disney,
Not even
but
Crescent Lakes.
I do like Crescent Lakes. I do like Disney. I'm just not, as they say, in Louisiana, I'm not ate up with it like y'all are maybe. But no, I do enjoy Disney. But it's been a vehicle for relationships, for memories of my family, for good times that I'll always remember, but also good times with you guys, but the relationships that I've been able to form through Disney races, and all the lizards that I've come in contact that mean so much to me, and then you guys here in this tight group, we spend, like you said, John, it's just a light every for that window every Sunday. It's fun, it's laughing. A while ago I read somebody's, and you said, Jody, I think you said thank you. And I was thinking in my mind about saying something like, oh, because we do it all for you, but we really don't. I mean, it's great that people enjoy it, and I do love that. But really, we do this for us. I mean, it's great that other people enjoy it. But I mean, the primary benefit for me is that I get to spend time with you guys and laugh and cut up and have a good time. I'm thankful for y'all, I guess, to bring it home.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same. I think we all feel the same way about it. It's amazing. It's been so much
Except
fun.
probably not Lonnie though, but y'all.
Well, or Jeff, because Jeff doesn't have a soul, so it's like he can't have feelings. But no, I mean, I kind of said it earlier. Like, I'm thankful for the relationships built through Disney and running, and the weird Venn diagram crossover of that, right? So, I mean, some of the people I've met through Disney are some of my best friends, and it's weird saying that. Like, I even went on vacation with some this summer. We went on a cruise together. I've met up with you guys for like races, and it's just it's so much fun. And the relationships, like Jody said earlier, I mean, they go beyond Disney. I had, the Nymans came and stayed at my house for a weekend, and their daughter Britta played with Carly and Chelsea all weekend. And it was just so
That's
much
great.
fun seeing them interact and play, and like, hey, yeah, this is Daddy's weird internet friends. They're just going to come stay at our house, and my kids think it's semi-normal. Like, oh, okay. So no, I'm so thankful for those relationships, and just helping each other get through life every day, whether it's like sharing weird funny memes or whatever. It's just, there's always something to smile about with this group in particular too. Our daily text chain gets a little wild sometimes, but I love it. It keeps me entertained.
I really appreciate when you guys just do your guys only text chain.
You don't like hearing all of our random ramblings?
Yes,
Jody?
but
Come
that's
on.
just great when I'm just
Okay.
left out.
But yeah, so that's what I'm thankful for too. And as a group, I think we're so thankful for everyone who listens to our show, and for all of the interaction we have. Like we said, even finding each other when you guys hear about us being in the parks, and you're like, hey, I'm on vacation there the same time, and you reach out and we get to like meet up. It's really cool. So we're thankful for all of you and everything that you do to support the show, sharing it with your friends and giving 5-star reviews. All of that helps so much. But it's just like the stories people say where they love to listen to us and they find us, entertaining. And like Gene said, I mean, I'm doing this for me. But I'm glad that you all enjoy it because it's so much fun. But now we're going to get away from a serious topic and try to give you even more giggles, right? We got to increase our giggles per hour average for the show, so we're going to do that here.
Is it like Monsters
Jody,
Incorporated? Monsters Inc.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our fuel.
We thrive. Yeah, we thrive on the giggles. So Jody, can you start to fill our giggle fuel tank?
Yeah, I will try. So, what's the best way to stuff a turkey?
I don't know.
Same way it is to stuff me. You serve it pizza and ice cream.
That'll be a happy turkey too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Kevin, can you keep that gauge going up?
we'll try.
Higher.
The giggleometer.
So why didn't the cook? The cook was working on his turkey. Why did he not season the Thanksgiving turkey?
I don't know why.
There was no thyme.
Oh.
Oh, gotta love a good time joke. All right, Gene, can you make us laugh? We're almost there. We're getting there.
I don't really have a joke, but I like to read a lot and like fun facts. I love that kind of thing. I've been called a fountain of useless knowledge, but did you know that some goldfish, and only a certain kind of goldfish, they'll swim in groups of 4, specifically koi. They'll swim in a group of 4, and that's because of predators. When a predator comes up, a koi will swim one way. The B koi will swim another way. The C koi will swim another way, and the decoy will just stay right there for the predator to kind of fool the predator.
Oh, poor decoy. All right. All right. I think we're past that, but I'm probably going to bring it down to a negative. Okay. So what is a pilgrim's favorite dance? The turkey trot.
Yeah,
See, it's a running and a Thanksgiving joke
Yeah.
Nice.
put together.
Perfect.
You really can't beat that, I don't think. All right, well, everybody, thank you again for listening to our show and just for being part of this awesome community that we've started to grow over the last couple of years. So if you can, please just go out and give us a review. Also, share an episode with your friends. If you really like the show, find some of your Disney loving friends who may also run and send them a link and see if they can get involved too. So Gene, I think the lawyers are probably going to be upset with us, but do you want to cover
we pay
our
them
butts
enough
here?
for the retainer.
Man, they have earned their salary. Okay, their retainer. So Disney with the Ducks disclaimer, Thanksgiving edition. The following disclaimer is brought to you by the Department of Disney Gratitude and Duck Shenanigans. This episode of Disney with the Ducks was hosted by Jody, John, and Gene, who spent the hour showcasing their warm, fuzzy feelings and world-class wit. And joined by Kevin, whose triumphant return we're all incredibly thankful for, except perhaps Kevin himself. Jeff and Lonnie were unavailable because, as always, their priorities were clearly misplaced. If you missed them, don't worry, we didn't. Listener comments about Disney-related gratitude for 2024 were read, lovingly discussed, and occasionally roasted with the usual duck flair. If we mispronounced your name, butchered your comment, or misunderstood your point entirely, rest assured it's Lonnie's fault. While he wasn't here, we all know that mistakes tend to follow him, whether he's present or not. Remember, all jokes were made in good fun, but the gratitude was real. Except for that one time Gene made a serious comment. You'll have to guess which one. No turkeys were harmed in the making of this episode, but several dad jokes were cooked to a golden crisp by John and Gene. From all of us at Disney with the Ducks, happy Thanksgiving, and may your holiday be as magical as a rope drop at Cinderella's castle, just without the screaming toddlers. In transmission. Lonnie, you're still on the hook.
All right, Quaharini.
Thanks, friends.
Nice.
Thank you.